briefly, I donated 200 ringgit to an orphanage. Full stop. How beautiful it is that if you can be brief, so don't use 200 words which can be expressed in 20 words. Accuracy, brevity, and clarity. It has to be clear. It has to be clear. Okay. Simple language helps you be clear. Okay. I'm going home. That's very, very clear. Okay. I'm talking to you is very, very clear. But I can make it very, very difficult, and I can say, I have developed a lecture which I will be delivering to the august audience in front of me. It's not very, very clear. So ABC is accuracy, means whatever fact you are giving should be the fact. Okay. B should be brief so that you don't go on into verbalizing it. And C, it should be clear so that people understand. The message, the purpose of writing is to convey the message. If the message is not clear, then we have problems. So ABC is good, and A is for Allah. And Allah is very brief and very clear. Okay, now we are talking about Islamization of knowledge. So we take any concept, and as I was reviewing it, all our concepts came from the West. Okay? So this is what Islamization is about, because the knowledge is already there. That's why we say Islamization of modern knowledge, or Islamization of contemporary knowledge, or Islamization of human knowledge, whatever we want to call it. Means we deal with the concepts which exist, the issues which affect our lives on a daily basis. So you start with that concept, okay? And once you have given that concept, tell us what are the characteristics of that concept. And most importantly, what is the worldview involved in it? I'll give you an example from political science, okay? They asked me, is democracy Islamic? Okay, and I said, democracy is not Islamic and Islam is not democratic. You know, some people did not like it. They said, why do you say so? I said, it is not that we are authoritarian. It's not that we believe in dictatorship. It's not that one. We believe in consultation. We believe in shura. Quran tells us, okay, that we settle our affairs after due consultation. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. Okay, that we settle our matters through consultation, and that we should take decisions. Every decision which affects everyone must be taken only after due consultation with them. And once a decision is taken, we should accept the decision, if possible, unanimously. If the decision is unanimous, if not, you take a majority decision. Once you have taken the decision, you stick to it. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. After you have taken the decision, you tawakkal ala Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. Yes. Good. Therefore, what you should do is look at the concept and then tell us. Now, Islam is not democratic, because the word democracy is not Islamic. What is the problem? Democrats also, in democracy, you take decisions after consultation. There is no difference between us and them in that respect. What is the problem? The problem is the worldview. Worldview, democracy believes in popular sovereignty. In democracy, people are the supreme. So whatever people want, you take that decision. In Islam, it's the divine sovereignty. Allah is supreme, not human beings. Whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, we take that decision. We don't take decisions which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, you cannot. So there are a few items which are no-go area. We don't go into it. So we don't talk about alcohol. We don't talk about gambling. We don't talk about prostitution. We don't talk about all those vices. because those are no-go areas. No matter 100% of the people may want that one, we cannot take that decision. Whereas in democracy, you take that decision because people want it. Because people want it. Now, because of that democracy, the societal values keeps on changing. Keeps on changing. Our values don't change. Because our values are divine. Our values are already settled for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they don't have fixed values. The values keep on changing. So today marriage is allowed, tomorrow they will disallow marriage because people don't like to marry. Yes, people don't like to marry. Yesterday they, what is her name? The lady of Yemeni revolution. Karman. She went to accept the Nobel Prize, and she was fully covered. And then after she got it, the journalist asked, "Dear, you are a modern, you are the mother of revolution. Why do you cover like this? Why do you have so many clothes on you? Is it not regression? You are going backward?" And her answer was beautiful. She said, we have neither regress nor progress. This is the dress that was assigned to us from the very beginning. We keep on it. Once upon a time, and that is the answer you should listen. Once upon a time, when civilization has not developed, when people were uncivilized, they did not wear any clothes. Hardly. When education came in, when civilizational came in, people started wearing dress, and they wore full. Now you are taking off. You are regressing to the uncivilized area.
Right. Correct.
There is another one. Since you are clapping, I would like you to clap. An imam was giving a talk on Islam and how we value women and how women are well treated, etc., etc. And when he finished, one British, he stood up and he said, "It was very interesting, but you talked a lot about women's freedom. Yeah. Why don't you allow your women to shake hands with all the men? That's not good." So he said, "You are from Britain, aren't you? Can you shake hands with Queen Elizabeth?" He said, "No, she's a queen. You can shake hands only with, she shake hands only with few people." He said, "In our civilization, in our religion, all our women are queens."
Alhamdulillah.
They shake hands only with those who are shakeable. Not with everyone. They are all queens, mashallah. I think they will be very happy today. Okay, so what you should be looking at is the worldview. Okay? Outwardly, they may seem similar. They may seem the same thing, you know. So you are talking about it, you are talking tax and zakat. What's the difference? You are taking money from both sides. Huh? In the case of zakat, you say it's 2.5%. In the case of tax, you can also make it 2.5%. There wouldn't be any difference. Then what is the difference between tax and zakat? Why are you insisting on zakat and not? It's the worldview. It's the ideology that is involved in it. One is divine, the other one is not. Can you find out that thing? Can you explain these things to the people? When somebody reads your textbook, he should know why you are saying what you are saying. What is wrong in what they are doing. Not to fabricate things. Not to distort the truth. No, we don't distort the truth. We don't fabricate things. We don't create lies. We tell you exactly what it is and where we differ and why we would like you to accept this part. That is the first thing. So when you come across, look at it with a critical angle, which is what Natib al-Attas told you to do. Okay? You look at it, critical appreciation. Critical appreciation. Critical appreciation. Critically examine the methods, the philosophy, the truth value, the ethics, the values that are involved in it. And you will find that the Westerners, there are few right-minded people who criticize the Western concepts themselves. Criticize them. Why don't you look at them and then bring their own critique to show that, okay, what I'm saying is not only as a Muslim I'm saying it, even your own brothers, they are also saying the same thing. I don't think you are familiar with Prof. Kamal's latest writings. No, he's not very good in publishing. He does not want to publish. He has come up with the ills of the Western society pointed out by the Westerners themselves. Beautiful thing. It's not that we are providing a critique. They are providing their own critique. It would be much, much more, I think, effective if you can provide the critique of the Western concepts by the Westerners themselves, and then you come up and you provide the Eastern criticism. So that's step one that you should do when you are writing your textbook. Second, now you analyze the concept by referring to the Quran and the Sunnah. Okay. Do we have similar concepts? What does the Quran and the Sunnah say about a particular topic that you are talking about? Does the Quran say that it is acceptable, it is not acceptable, is it good, is it bad? Okay. Thirdly, then you look at the historical process. Go back to our history and see the ideals that are available in the Quran and the Sunnah, to what extent these were practiced, to what extent these were neglected, to what extent these changed over time. We should analyze the history going back to the Turas. We have our own heritage. We should look into that one. That would be the third step. Okay, this is, and then you go back, you go to the scholars' views, our ulama and the fuqaha. How did they deal with it? What was their explanation for it? Historical development, subsequent interpretations. How did they interpret the things that came about? Okay, now it would be a huge thing. Obviously, you cannot do justice to all the ulama and the fuqaha. It would run into volumes. You should choose, select, and you can do that after this. I'm very good in speaking, and when I speak, people have the urge to ask too many questions. Hold on, inshallah. You can talk. Okay? And then look for the explanations. Do we have alternatives for what have been provided? Or can we accept, can we adopt what is available in the West? Or should we adapt? Can we modify it and make it useful from an Islamic point of view? Or should we reject it? Those that needs to be rejected in total, reject it. Those that can be modified, adapt it. Okay, those which are in conformity with the Quran and the Sunnah, there is nothing wrong in accepting it. Remember one thing, Islamization of knowledge is not deconstruction. We are not against the West or Western knowledge. We are not demolishing what has been achieved so far. We are trying to improve upon it and make it acceptable so that we can make use of it. Right? And then we look at it and then we choose what is Islamic. Then you explain what Islam has to say, how does the Islamic concept goes around, what are the characteristics, what methodology would you follow. Then you go on doing it. And this is what it should be. Okay? And if you have done that one, then you are okay. And then you go and do whatever other things are available. And you have to provide an appendix. Provide an appendix, support the explanation that you have given in the chapters. Okay, who was it? Tariq Ramadan was telling me that I don't like these Muslims writing, they just keep on quoting Quran and one after the other, and then they quote the Arabic version and then they provide the transliteration and then they provide the translation. These are all padding. Why do we have to pad our writings? As long as you provide references, you are okay. Alright? And if you still think that there are certain things that needs further, put it in the appendix, and so that it explains and it does it. Those who are familiar with it, they don't have to waste their time. Provide index. This is very, very important. Indexing is very important. Somebody does not have the time to read the whole of it, it goes to the index. I always read it I always read books backward rather than forward. I look at the index and try to see what are the things covered, and then if I have to be selective, I use selectively and I do it. Glossary is very, very important. Provide a glossary, special words in a book and their meanings if it is not clear. Define each keywords. Please do not feel offended. I have seen you people don't know how to use the word keyword. Every single one I saw, it says keyword, W-A-R-D. That word is available in the hospital, not in the books. It's a W-A-O-R-D keyword. So you have to define each keyword so that it's easier to memorize the things which are available in the glossary so that it could be used effectively. Reference pages. This is one more thing that we are guilty of. Okay? We never learn how to quote properly. We do not know how to give references properly. Sometimes we just give the name of the author and part of it. We do not provide publishers, publications, date, year, editions. We are not bothered about it. And that is some of the things that I have noticed there. Okay, sometimes even that one is not provided. Oh, Islamic science, read the book written by Sayyid Hussain Nasr, khalas. Which one I'm supposed to read? On Islamic law and constitution, read what Maududi wrote. Hey, Maududi wrote 300 books. Which one I'm supposed to read? All of it doesn't deal with Islamic law and constitution. Only few specific ones. Which one are you talking about? Which one I should read it? Right? So try to learn how to cite, how to give full references, etc., etc. Some are very good, some are not good. So please take care of these things, because one of the hallmarks of a scholar is that he knows how to cite. And citing properly is the most intellectual thing to do. To say thank you to the person from whom you have borrowed. And I think that is the greatest lesson which Islam has taught us, and we should never forget it. Thank you very much. Wabillahi tawfiq wal hidayah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Please shoot as much as you want, ask as many questions that you want, and I'm here to listen. Brother Aslam has something to say. Aslam,
No, I'm just coming to it.
okay, Brother Aslam is coming here. Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Prof,
You are welcome.
for your nice deliberation. I think the audience has enjoyed the deliberation. I have two questions. First one, I am asking you from your last one, that is, you have talked about the references. Unfortunately, I have gone through the books and I have found many books they do not consider the reference. Book means I have seen they consider the bibliography in many cases, and from where exactly which part they have taken, they do not mention this. To some extent, I have seen that they consider only endnotes. This is one thing. So why they do not consider this? Even American authors I have seen, they have written their books, many concepts they have developed. But I don't see that they don't mention from where they have taken this one. To some extent, they mention only the names of the books at the end, not what we consider for writing our research article. For specific one sentence even, we are putting here. But we don't see for the case of the books. Yes, to some extent the books which are edited by the authors, this book edited, there are 4 articles, then I see that these are considered here. Second question, okay, so I'm asking the first one, please.
You want to take one by one, or you want to do one? Maybe we collect 3 rather than taking one by one. Yes.
Actually, Professor, actually, there are maximum faculty members from business faculty, management, entrepreneurship, accounting, and marketing, human resource management. You know, there is a very applied process to teaching, learning, case study management. Now, if we write in Islamic perspective different books, it is sometimes we have to, if we quote different cases from Western perspective, I think maximum time it will not be wise. Our Muslim world, there are so many entrepreneurs, so many managers, so many examples of different types of good products and services and marketing activities, halal business and others. So my question is that actually, can we develop cases imaginary? Imaginary, that means it should not, I am saying that it have no basis, but sometimes it be basis, but some imaginary. Because we are just start our journey to write up the textbook, but now in competitively, if we can establish our books, textbooks, with relevant to the Western books, we have to develop cases. But it is very difficult also. So this is my question.
So you say basically, can we use case studies, sometimes even simulation exercises?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sister.
Slides I want to know. Appendix. The last X was highlighted. Appendix.
Why you made the X big?
Number 2. You mentioned those surveys included in the textbook. I want to know whether it should be included at the end of the book or at the end of each chapter. Why it should be included. And number 3, in our morning session, Sister Fatima, she presented a nice presentation, of course, outline development. And when we want to write a textbook, we must have to focus on some specific objective, right? And here, because every program should have some objective, learning objective, so we should focus on those objectives to write down the textbook. And here I am asking them, when we will write down the textbook on our own context, that is, in Bangladesh perspectives, then what objectives should be in front of us? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. These are beautiful questions. I don't think I have the answer. That's the beauty of becoming a speaker. You just speak, you don't answer. The first question was with respect to references, citations. Okay. Citation is a must. You must cite. Now, some textbooks, they deliberately adopt the idea of not referring to too many things, so that what they do is they usually would read many books and then they would form their own ideas and they would paraphrase and they would put it in their own words what they mean by what, and therefore they do not refer to anyone. They are not copying it, but they are saying that, okay, we have benefited from it, but in order to make the text easy for the students, we do not want to provide so many references. At the end, they have given the list of books that should be read. If your language is good and if you could effectively paraphrase, there is no problem. Okay? You can do that one, but honesty requires that you must cite. You must cite. And there is a word called plagiarism, which is very popular in International Islamic University of Malaysia nowadays, that plagiarism has been defined as taking 7 words or more consecutively from one particular source without citation is called plagiarism. And the punishment is very severe. Many students have lost their degrees, many teachers have lost their jobs.
But if it's seven words consecutively.
7 words consecutively.
7 words consecutively. Without citation.
Without citation, yeah. এক সেন্টেন্সে 7টা ওয়ার্ড যদি থাকে, ওই 7টা ওয়ার্ড যদি একই জায়গা থেকে নেওয়া হয়, তাহলে ওইটার জন্য আপনারা সাইট করতে হবে। সাইট না করলে বলবে যে আপনারা প্লেজিয়ারাইজ করেছেন, এবং প্লেজিয়ারাইজ করলে ওর পানিশমেন্ট হবে যে আপনার চাকরি চলে যাবে। চোর সাব্যস্ত হয়ে যাবে। How beautifully I said, you did not understand. Yes. Citation is something very good. We should cite. To cite is to acknowledge, okay, from where you have written. And citation is one of the hallmark of intellectuals. Intellectuals are supposed to be honest. And honesty in writings in terms of academic is shown when you cite somebody. And you should be grateful that, okay, I have learned from you. That does not make you any cheat. Okay? It elevates your status as a scholar, and therefore, I think citation, we should develop the idea of citing it whenever possible. That does not mean you overdo it. No. Whenever you do it, you just cite. Okay? Citation is very, very important. Coming to the case studies when we are teaching it, should we do it? I was asking this question myself, and I asked 2 of my colleagues about this. What do? We don't have very many living examples which fits in our own ideals. You can go back to history and you can dig out some of the materials, some of the cases that have been settled, but how long are you going to do it? So one way they said is to simulate. Yes, simulation would be one. The other thing, in addition to simulation, is to take those cases which are un-Islamic and show them that this is not Islamic. That these are the problems in this kind of things that we should rectify. You know, there are 2 or 3 different strategies that have been adopted in order to talk about it. The question why I have which one is that? Appendix. I just wanted to highlight the X. It is not always necessary. It is not always necessary. It is not a typo. It was done deliberately. That it is not always necessary. Appendix is necessary only when it supports the explanation that you have done in the chapters. Okay, you are talking about something is very useful, but it does not fit into the main text. Okay, but it is necessary, you know, it gives further support, then you go into it. But what is the purpose of writing 100 pages and 300 pages of appendix? It will send people to the hospital and they will have appendicitis. We should not have that. What was the third question? Glossary. Glossary is usually, now in some textbooks, glossary is in the first page. Immediately they do it, they put the glossary in the front part of the textbook, but usually glossary is at the end of the book. Now, it has been suggested by many authorities in the textbook writing that while you will have a glossary at the end, the major terms and major concepts which appear on the text, prepare a bold box and define it there. So you will have a double glossary. While you are reading it, oh, what is this topic about? Do I have to read it? No, you can read it there straight away. So prepare boxes in the text so that people can read it there straight away, and then, of course, the ultimate place is the end of the book, not in the middle of the book. Yes, sister. Now, ask the boss.
Yeah, okay. I want to just add in a couple of points.
Yes.
Plagiarism. You know, because of the problem of plagiarism, there is also now many software available for you to actually capture plagiarism. And the most famous one, or at least the one that we know, I know quite a lot about, is something called Turnitin. Yeah, Turnitin. So you can actually, if you're not sure whether this assignment is, because in IUM it's very easy to know whether somebody is writing his own or taking from somebody, because suddenly you're reading the passage, the English becomes perfect, and then you know something is wrong. then you just type out the line, you type out the line, one sentence, two sentences, and the program can tell you where this sentence came from. And so there is already a lot of work done to try and overcome. Turn it in, yes. Yes, Google, turn it in.
TURNIT, turn it in, IN, turn it in. But you have to pay for turn it in. There is another one called Viper, which is free. But Viper is not as effective as turn it in. Okay. I would like to tell you one very interesting story about it, which happened in University Malaya. I was the external examiner, and a PhD student submitted the thesis, and we went there. I found, without using Turnitin, I found 16 pages which were taken verbatim from other area. The reason I found it was that it does not match with the original text which has been written. So I found 16, and I went and I said, look, 16 pages are there, these are the documents from the areas taken. And immediately, the chairman, he took the thesis and he asked, well, is it, put it on the Turnitin. We have the soft copy available. 95%. 95% plagiarism. But the interesting thing is this. Brother, did you copy these things from another book? No, I did not. But brother, they are exactly the same. Yes, they are the same because they convey my idea. But that is not the worst part of it. The worst part is, I said, brother, when you copy, you say, no, I have provided references at the end. This is the truth. I provided references at the end. So I said, brother, when you copy from somebody, you should put inverted comma, and then you should cite it immediately. You say, what are you saying? If I put inverted comma, the whole thesis will be full of inverted commas.
Okay, just hold on. Let's get clear. I saw here one sister and then the brother at the back. Okay, so yes. Well, yeah, okay.
Yes, sister, you have a question? Yeah, she was the one.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, I don't have a question. I need advice from you. I'm a beginner to write a textbook. In that case, when I'm actually working with Islamization of knowledge, and especially the part of the work I have done already, specifically I have focused on the wisdom part. But right at this moment, when I'm trying to move to the Islamization of knowledge, I have the problem that I couldn't actually integrate both one. So would you please suggest me that when I'm actually in a part of the Western knowledge and Islamization of knowledge, how to do it actually? Do I need to actually go for both parallelly, that one particular topic, and then I will move to the Islamization of knowledge? That means the Islamic point of view, I will try to match it with the, that means a particular point, or what to do actually to integrate both? That is the problem actually that I'm facing.
This is the core of the issue. Alright, first point. We need to have follow-up workshop.
Yes, one said it.
এটা খুব ভালো প্রশ্ন my question also semester related to sister's question and my question regarding the introduction, not the second part. You cited something that is not Islamization of knowledge and cited to definition from Shaykh Ismail Faruqi and Al-Attas. And I think it's a very crucial work for university research and who are in teaching profession, who are engaged in teaching profession. We have some knowledge on Western part, what you are saying, but what you are saying, it is not Islamization, and who are we involved in this field and trying to do something Islamization, and it is under your definition what is not Islamization. That is we read and write something from Western and if get something similarity with Islam and write 2 lines from there. And most of them we are doing these things. But the crucial definition from Al-Attas, you mentioned here, who will do this work? How we people, we poor people will do this such job? And somewhere else, I read from Al-Attas definition, leave all the animal elements from yourself. Al-Attas somewhere mentioned all the animals elements in the soul of mind of people, leave it. So how this